the channel. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Avatar, the live-action series on Netflix. There's a lot of thoughts out there about the show. Some people don't like it, some people do like it. I think it really depends if you're comparing it to the original series or if you've never seen it before. I think for a lot of people out there, if they've never seen it before, they might think it's pretty decent. They might think it's all right. For people that are big fans of the original, like myself, I watched the original 4 different times, and so I was kind of comparing it to that. And I have to say that whenever I watch a remake, the first thing that I always do is think about, does it respect the source material, you know? And, you know, does it develop the characters as well as the original show? Because that really is the heart and soul of Avatar, is the development of the characters, right? You know, I mean, by the end of that show, well, really in the very beginning, you just love Aang and Katara and Sokka and Zuko and Hyro and all these characters. You know, by the end, you love Ozai just because he's a piece of crap villain, right? The Fire Lord. You love Azula. Just all these amazing characters throughout the show. And so it's going to be really hard for Netflix to, you know, represent those characters really well. But I have to say, after watching the entire series, I really feel like, for the most part, they really did represent the characters pretty well. Not all, and that's what I want to get into here in a little bit. So the first character I want to start with is Aang. So Aang is obviously the main protagonist of the show. He is the Avatar. And I'll say this, I think that they tried to do their best with the kid. They tried to make it look well, or they tried to make him appear as fun-loving and charmful as he is in the series, and they somewhat pull that off. I wouldn't say 100%, I would say more like 50 to 60%, maybe a little bit more. I mean, it varies, you know, depending on our opinions out there. But I feel like it was, a lot of times 50-50, sometimes 60-40, in a good way for Aang, right? So, you know, for me, he was done good enough, right? Definitely a lot better than the live action remake that they had years and years ago. It is definitely way better than that. So let's get into the next character, which is Katara. I honestly feel like that actress was amazing. I thought she did an insane job as Katara. There was a lot of heartfelt moments with her mother, which I really, really loved. It's not exactly like the original series on, or the original anime series, but man, boy, they did a really good job on her. She is just the look on the girl's face, right? She's a beautiful young girl, and she really, I felt like her acting chops were really good. I felt like she pulled it off awesome, because Katara is this sweet, innocent girl that ends up becoming a total, you know, badass throughout the series, ends up becoming, you know, a Kingdom Come waterbender, and she pretty much does it on her own. And in this series, it's pretty much the same thing on Netflix. I was very, very happy with the way they developed her. Boy, you really cared about her by the end. And the same with her brother Sokka. Sokka, oh my God, like there was a moment in that show with his father that, I mean, almost like if you have a close relationship with your dad and you really try to live up to your dad's expectations or your parents' expectations, you can really relate to that moment. I don't want to get into any spoilers, but it was good, man. I really, really love that moment. And really, he just come off, you know, Sokka's a real goofy dude, but at his heart and soul, he's a true warrior that never gives up. And they really, I feel like, in the show, they really pulled that off really well with him. So, I mean, Sokka and Katara, I feel like they've done super, super well. I do think that Katara, they've done a little bit better. And so then we get into, you know, some other characters like Zuko. That kid that played Zuko, oh my God. He was great. Emotional through the whole show. He was lost. He was looking for acceptance from his father, just like in the original series. It was awesome. The relationship he had with Hyro, so good. Oh my God, I loved it so much. I was just blown away by Zuko, man, he was so good. And honestly, throughout the whole show, no spoilers, but there's a lot of things that come directly from the Avatar series, the landscaping, all the world. It just looks so good. Oh my God, it really did. I was really blown away by the CGI in that show. It looked awesome. Wow, really spectacular. So Zuko, wow, 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 wow. Now there's two more characters I want to dive into, which are Azula and Ozai, right? The Fire Lord. We'll start with Azula. Azula, I feel like they kind of dropped the ball on a little bit. I didn't really feel like the actress was really pulling it off. Maybe it was the dialogue, I'm not really sure. But I didn't really think she was pulling it off that much. And the thing about it is, in the original series, I mean, I don't want to get into any spoilers, but in the original series, she has a nice arc where she's this calm, collective, badass, I mean, just a total badass, a real nuisance to Aang and Katara and Sokka, right? A real nuisance to them, but she's just so calm and collect, and a threat, a big threat. And she is a threat in the new series on Netflix, but she is very emotional in the very beginning, and that's something she wasn't in the original Avatar. You know, she had that nice arc where she went from this calm collect to, if you've watched the anime, to at the very end being super emotional, lost, very sporadic in her, you know, the way she felt. And it was quality stuff to see her change like that, to see that everything was getting to her, and it was awesome. And in the live action, they really rushed her arc big time. They rushed that thing something fierce, and I don't think they should have done it. Maybe they had their reasons, but I didn't really care for that. And then which leads me into Ozai. Now Ozai, the actor, I mean, I don't remember his name, but oh my God, he sounds great, he looks great, and I actually think that he acts the part super well. And he is a total asshole in the show. But the thing is, in the original Avatar, they don't really show Ozai. They keep him kind of mysterious. You don't really know where he's at or what he's doing. You know, you just know about him. You just hear about him. And the show, the live action show, they make him to where, you know, he's, I don't want to say compassionate. He's definitely not compassionate. He really is a butt munch, man. He really is a very bad dude. But I think because he was so mysterious in the original Avatar, that you really wondered what this guy was like. Whereas in the live action, you know what he is already, right? You already know what he is. You know, he's gonna make a little spin around here. There we go, a little spin. And that was something I feel like, you know, was a little bit better in the anime. But I will say that actor, he pulls it off. He does a really good job playing this asshole, and I really like that. I thought that was great, and I thought he was great for the role, and still is great for the role. I got high expectations. The choreography in the show was also really good. I have to say, for a Netflix show, they did a pretty damn good job on that choreography. All the water bending, the earth bending, the air bending, the fire bending, all that stuff looked really, really good. All the landscapes looked phenomenal. I mean, they really pulled an insane amount of inspiration from the original Avatar, and that is something that I really, really love and respect. I think that is awesome that they did that, and that's cool, right? And which leads me back into what I said at the very beginning of when I was talking about this. I always, when I watch these shows, these remakes, these live action remakes, the first thing that I always do is wonder, do they respect the source material? And I gotta say, when it comes to Avatar, in my humble opinion, I felt like they did for the most part. I really did. I felt like they tried their best with Aang to make him a fun-loving, charmful kid that just wants to do the right thing. I mean, they rushed his arcs a little bit in the series, but other than that, I felt like, a really great job on their part. I was actually very happy with the show at the end. I mean, I almost got teared up a couple times. I really cared about Katara. I really cared about Sokka. Aang, I cared about him a little bit, but I definitely cared about the other two characters more because I felt like they were done better. But still, I'm very open to watching more of this show. I want to watch more of it. It's got me into it, and I felt like, you know, they didn't butcher the show at all and done the best they could. Avatar is a very, very hard show to do, even with the CGI and things we have. It's just it's a phenomenal world that they're trying to capture, and from my own opinion, I just felt like they captured it the best they could, and I was honestly pretty happy with the show. I actually gave the show about a 6 out of 10, and the only reason I give it a 6 instead of a higher score is because I really didn't like what they did with Azula. I really didn't think they should have rushed her arc so much, and I would have preferred that they would have kept Ozai a little back. But you have to understand, I'm coming from a very critical standpoint. I'm somebody that was a fan, or is a fan, of Avatar and really loves it and wants it to be respected. But I gotta say, I felt like Netflix did a pretty good job for the most part. Let me know what you guys think about the show. And, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody. Take care.